Into the Upland Rookie, a podcast presented by Upland Brits. Up rookies, and welcome to episode 11 of the Upland Rookie Podcast. As always, I'm your host, and this is presented by Upland Brits. If you don't know what Upland Brits is, go check out my Instagram, Upland_Brits. That is what started this whole journey that I am on with Upland and bird dogs and all sorts of stuff. Kind of propelled this addiction, fed this addiction to go further and further. So check it out, post a bunch of info over at that page, as well as the Upland Rookie Podcast. At Eukanuba, they believe that peak performance is what happens when a dog's natural athletic ability, that's a mouthful, is shaped by training and unleashed by nutritional science. The all-new Eukanuba Premium Performance lineup features 4 different formulas. The Sprint, the Exercise, the Sport, that's what I feed, and the Work. Yes, 4 different formulas to match what your dog needs, maybe based on their activity level or based on the time of year, the season, if it's hot, if it's cold, if you're running sled dogs, hunting dogs, just training, trial, agility, whatever your dog needs, they've got you covered with the right formula for you. So check them out at eukanubasportingdog.com. Also, thanks to Cable Gangs. Cable Gangs just came in the mail the other day. I got my 3-dog system, which actually can be a 5-dog system if you want. So if you don't know what Cable Gangs is, check them out on Instagram or Facebook, Cable, Gangz. Great system. Right now I'm using it in my backyard. If I need to let the dogs have a change of scenery from a dog run, switch things up, I've brought it out to the training grounds, put 2 stakes in the ground, put the main line connecting between the 2 stakes, and clip your dogs very easily to that main line. Lets them just chill and relax and get a little feedback on their neck. If they pull, they push, they go crazy, do whatever, they're picking up and learning on those cues. My dogs have been on a cable gang or a chain gang. It's kind of the more popular term for it for quite a while. Gage has been on one a bunch. So he kind of knows the drill. He knows it's kind of time to chill and relax, and he's got his bowl of water there. And so really cool system. Hit up Brennan. Remember, if you order a Cable Gangs system, mention the Upland Rookie Podcast to Brennan when you order, and you'll get a choice of a free item. And it's either going to be a blank pistol tether that you can tether to your blank pistol to your belt loop, or a 24-inch drop, which is the cable that goes from the dog to the main line. So don't forget, mention the Upland Rookie Podcast to Brennan when you order your Cable Gangs. Ready to jump into episode 11. First, a weekend review or a quick weekend recap. What did you do this weekend? Write me in. What did you work on with your bird dog? Maybe you picked up a new bird dog this weekend. That was not me, but maybe you did. Go ahead, write into me, share your story. What did you work on this weekend? I continue the breaking process. You guys are probably sick of me hearing that, but it is a process. It takes time. I'm taking it slow. I'm not trying to rush this, and so every day I'm working with Gage, basically through the Smith method. If you don't know what that is, look it up, but I will do a future episode, just more on that detail. I'm about 3/4 of the way through of this process so far. He's showing good signs through this whole, through every step of the way. But before I always move on to a new step of the process, I always will kind of go back and just confirm and make sure, kind of see where he's at from the first step and make sure he's solid on that. Then I'll progress through the rest of those steps. So that's really what I focused on this weekend. I got Gunner out on some birds, steady to wing shot, fall, and release. He was solid for me. Really excited to see that. So had a great weekend. Got the dogs out, let them swim Saturday and Sunday. I think they both swam. So it was fun to get them out, get them exercise a little bit. And yeah, so that's my weekend. Again, write me in. What did you work on this week with your bird dog? Hey guys, don't forget we have the Dakota 283 giveaway happening. It only goes into the end of July 30th. Make sure to get your bonus entries in soon. I really would like to kind of start reading some of those stories or seeing some of those videos that you post online of your story of how you got started upland hunting, why, like craft your own unique story. Doesn't have to be the most grammatically correct, perfect Wall Street Journal story, that kind of quality. Just write your story. Just send it in. You'll get those 5 extra bonus entries. Again, I'd love to read some of those best ones on the podcast. So again, you have until July 30th. Make sure to, again, write those stories in. Email me, uplandbrits@gmail.com. That's 5 extra bonus entries into the giveaway. The other way is posting a video, similar concept. Just post a video on Instagram, tag the Upland Rookie, and use the Upland Rookie Podcast hashtag. So do those 2 things. That's also worth 5 bonus entries. The other way for a bonus entry is leaving an Apple Podcast review and screenshotting me your entry. That's worth 2 extra reviews. So guys, listen, this is over a $500 value. You are getting a Dakota 283 G3 medium kennel with the Dakota Guard. That's their new antimicrobial formula that is basically inside of the kennel mold. And so it's really going to help and fight against bacteria that can sit or live on kennels generally. So really cool feature. Also, you're going to get a choice of a dine and dash or a dash watering system or a food and water combo. So guys, this is a great value. Again, if you want to up your chances, we're getting towards the end here now, 1 month left. Get those bonus entries in. It's going to get your name in the hat 5, 10 more times, whatever it might be, based on what you do. So don't be shy. Get those bonus entries into me. I can't wait to see it. And thank you to Dakota. This is an amazing giveaway. All right, guys, couple more things. Instagram stories. Oh, this was fun. Over this past weekend, I did kind of an Instagram story series, just asking some questions, and I thought the responses were pretty interesting, and I was going to go over a couple of those. A couple things that either surprised me or were interesting. So this was over at the Upland Rookie Podcast Instagram. And okay, I'm going to start from the beginning and kind of work through a couple. I won't take too much time, but do you upland hunt with a pointing dog or a flushing dog? 14% flushing dog, 86% pointing dog. Yeah. But don't worry. Anyone with a flusher, I am actually very curious about the flushing breeds. I have a special guest coming up on the podcast. I'm actually recording tonight with them, flushing dogs that they run. So that'll be coming out in a few weeks. So stay tuned. And I will have more on the podcast as well. But just interesting. Kind of wanted to know where the audience was as far as pointing dog versus flushing dog. I'll spend a little more time on this than others, but I did hunt over a flushing dog one time, and it was a blast. It was an absolute blast. It was a preserve in Illinois. There was a beautiful yellow lab that we hunted behind, and it was run and gun and fast and furious. I mean, it was just a great time. So really positive experience from my experience hunting over a flushing dog. Okay, next question. How long have you been upland hunting? Okay, so this one, I did less than 1 year or more than 1 year. So 78% more than 1 year and 22% less than 1 year. Thought that was pretty interesting. It's kind of good to know where those, just how many people are true, like true rookies, like just figuring things out, less than a year. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Now I upped the years. 35% are less than 3 years. 65% are more than 3 years. Then we're going to go up to the next one. 43% less than 5 years and 57% more than 5 years. Here's a cool thing, guys. This podcast, these numbers I think show you, are not just for those newbies. Yes, this might be rookie focused and kind of sharing experiences and getting those rookies pumped up and getting them some knowledge. But it's also for those veteran hunters that I call 4, 5, 6, 7 plus years. And I think that's really cool. I think this is bridging that gap of not just one people group, but a very broad group of people who just love bird dogs and love hunting. So I think that's really cool. Thanks for sharing just your feedback and your experience of how long you've been hunting. Okay, how many bird dogs do you own? It was overwhelmingly one dog hunters. Favorite bird species to hunt? The pheasant took the grouse by 1. That was surprising. The grouse was leading for a long time. Or actually, it took it by 2. The pheasant beat the grouse by 2 under favorite bird species to hunt. So pretty interesting. So it was pheasant 1, grouse 2, quail 3, and chucker. Chucker came in last. Where's my chucker hunters? Come on, guys. Okay, a couple more. Podcast, do you like the opening segment? 10% said no. 10% of you said you do not like the opening segments. Well, that's all right. Podcast outline, I'm going to share that in a little bit. 89% of you said you answered that you would like to see more non-sponsored gear reviews of the podcast. So pretty cool. Something I am going to try. I'll just jump into this now. I am going to try and tweak the podcast format a little bit, and I'm going to try it. I'm just going to try it out for all of July, maybe a little bit of August, and just see kind of how the feedback is. Let me know how you like it. You will still get an episode every single week. You'll still get one every week from me. Every other week, it's going to be my long form interviews with a guest. I'll make sure those episodes are at least an hour, minimum an hour, even longer. So don't worry as far as content length. I will make sure those are lengthy, well thought out episodes. The opposite weeks, I'm going to try shorter episodes and switch those up from maybe, again, non-sponsored gear reviews, maybe talking about a specific topic more that you want to hear about, maybe just tackling a specific thing, sharing a specific story. So those are I'm going to get creative with and switch those up a little bit. So again, I'm going to try that for July, maybe part of August, and just see if it bombs and it's not great, then we're going to go back to the other format, but just wanted to let you know kind of where I'm headed. So let's give it a try. I hope you continue to join me. It's not too big of a shift, but enough that I just wanted to let you know kind of what I'm thinking, and we'll start that next week for episode 12. So stay tuned for that. All right, couple more things of that Instagram story. So I asked a couple gear questions on vests, boots, and shotguns, and pretty cool looking through all those. I don't know if I'm going to share those results with you or not. Should I? I guess I will. Okay, overwhelmingly not overwhelmingly. Final Rise, Matt Davis. Final Rise did win the vest, and again, it's not a winning. It just had more votes. Final Rise was the most popular vest, followed by the Orvis strap vest. Orvis, what the hell? Golly, I didn't even know they made that vest still. But pretty cool. I do know a buddy that rocks that and loves it. But followed by Orvis, and then I think what was the Hunt Ready might have been in third. It was kind of all over the place. Chief Upland was in the top 5 probably, but anyways, so many good vests out there. I'm not saying negative things about any of them, but it was just interesting to see what you're rocking and why you're rocking it. So pretty cool. Thanks for that. Boots were all over the place. I'm not going to get into that. That really was all over the place. But I am going to do a boot review coming up here in the future, and we'll go from there. Okay, couple more things. Oh, This surprised the heck out of me. Do you kennel your dog while driving? 72% yes, 28% no. Dang, that just surprised me. I mean, there's no right or wrong. You do what you want, but I just view it as a safety thing, honestly. So if you don't kennel your dog, that's your choice. That's awesome. Personally, for me, I want to kennel my dog. I want to keep them safe if there's ever an accident, things like that. And also, it's just ease for me. When I get out of the car, if my dog's not kenneled, and maybe it's just my dogs, maybe your dogs are more well-behaved than mine, but I like having that a little bit more control of like, I can let one out at a time, collar them up, then let the other one out. If I open the car door, they're both trying to jump out and just be crazy. So again, that might be my dogs, but it's just more of a convenience thing for me. What kennel you're using, that was all over the place. Roughlin was the most popular. And then Other actually was very popular. And so a couple of you said you use dog boxes. Some of you said you used one of each of the main brands. So kind of interesting to see there. So anyways, guys, that was the quick Instagram story kind of summary. It was fun seeing some of these responses, chatting with some of you over messages. So thank you for participating. Again, I'm looking forward to just a new format here coming up in July and part of August. We'll see how it goes. Give me your feedback. Would love to hear from you. So I think that is all my stuff for now. Hey, don't forget the Dakota 283 giveaway. Please write your Upland story. How did you get started? Why did you get started? And why do you continue to chase after it? So write into me. You'll be entered into the podcast an extra 5 times. So don't forget about that. We'll be closing in end of July. So, all right, we're going to turn it over to episode 11. This is my interview with Clayton of Rogue House. Really fun conversation. Clayton and I live pretty close to each other and just had a great time here. So I hope you enjoy. The back of the podcast.
He's very well behaved, though.
Oh yeah, he's pretty chill. It's funny since Gunner left 2 weeks ago, he like mellowed out. Like I thought he was depressed for a couple days. I think they just got super close, and I don't know what it was, but he was super chill.
That's good.
I know, that's been really good. All right, dude. So Clayton, put us on a map. Where are you located? And just give us a little overview of who you are.
Yeah, so I'm in Arvada. I've lived there a good majority of my life.
Arvada, Colorado, right?
Arvada,
so
Colorado,
we are doing this in person, which is super fun.
Yeah, you said first time in person?
I think second one in person, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was born and raised in Arvada. Other than that, the only time I've been outside of Arvada is when I went to college. And then I lived in Florida, actually, for about 7-8 months. That's a whole story in and of itself. But didn't like it, moved back. And now I'm looking at Elizabeth. So
okay, nice.
Yeah,
get as far as little land, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be great. That's the goal, mostly for these dogs. I mean, I went and looked at the property today, and I looked at the inside of the house. I'm like, yeah, this is great. Let's go see what we have for the dogs.
I would do the same thing. Like, so how much land?
Yeah, exactly. But there's a good little shed that I could put them in, make a dog run, and so everything for the dogs is perfect now. For my wife and kids, we'll see.
Yeah, it's another story.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another story.
Yeah. As far as who I am, I'm kind of just a family guy. I'm a family man, and that's the biggest reason I've gotten into upland hunting is because that's what I grew up doing, and I want my kids to do the same.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I can't wait to dig into that a little bit more. Definitely want to hear, a little bit how you got started. I actually want to just talk about your truck real quick.
Okay.
You've posted some pretty cool photos. I think you just got. Did you just get the topper and the deck at the same time?
Yeah, I got the topper and deck together. I lucked out and I found a guy that was selling his stuff used, and it just happened to be a paint match with my truck. So I lucked out there. But I've wanted it forever. Yeah. It's a perfect setup for the dogs, especially with the weather and whatnot.
Absolutely.
So far, I love it.
Yeah. Have you liked the deck so far?
Yeah, I do. Okay. I still got to set it up. I'm looking at, they have that foam insert you can put in. Put the guns in one side and then the gear in the other. But yeah, we'll see. I still got to dig into it and get everything all organized. But so far, so good.
That's awesome. No, it looks super cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Kind of a funny story. So I got these kennels a couple months ago. Had the topper with no decked. I just got the decked a couple days ago, and these do not fit with the topper.
No, they don't.
No,
I ran into the same issue.
Did you?
Yeah. So I had the same style kennel, about the same size.
Yeah.
And I go to put it in.
And you can tilt it. You can fit it in sideways, but then when you go to stand it up,
it gets stuck.
And I actually heard some cracking in my roof.
Oh no!
Because it was a tight squeeze. I was like, if I just push a little bit, it should be fine. Well, I started pushing this kennel up, and I started hearing like this cracking. I'm like, oh no,
went too far.
too far. So
you're gonna have to downsize?
So I think we're gonna keep these as just the house kennels here, and I just ordered 2 of the Ruffland Intermediates.
And
that's what I
run.
That's what they were in. I loved them.
Yeah.
These are amazing too, amazing kennels. But just practicality, I'm like, I can't fit them in there. So
yeah, that's funny. I literally just went through the same thing 3-4 weeks ago, and I was doing the same thing, twisting it sideways.
Yeah, I looked like an idiot out there.
It.
My wife came out as I was trying to squeeze this thing in there. She's like, "You're not telling me we have to buy more kennels, are you?" I was like, "Honey, I think so."
I think we do.
Yeah. Well, Clayton, so talk a little bit about, I want to get into just your Instagram account for a second here. 2 things. Tell us a little bit about that, but then also talk a little bit about your photography side. Just because from what I've observed over the last year or so that I've followed you, you're putting out some really cool photos, really high quality images. Is that something you grew up doing? Like, do you know how to do photos like that, or is it something you just figured out?
No, in fact, I actually know nothing about photography.
No way.
I take all my photos with my phone.
No way. All those photos are with your phone?
Yeah, until about 3 days ago.
No way.
So I've been inspired by a few guys on Instagram who just take amazing pictures.
Yeah.
So I bought my first camera.
Oh, nice.
It's just a cheap one, and I'll tell you what, it is hard. It is. There's way more to it than I ever expected.
All the settings and stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Options.
Like if you do this one too high, then it's blurry, and so I got a lot to learn there. As far as the pictures, though, everything's pretty much been my phone.
That's awesome.
And I edited a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not good at that either. Somehow they look all right.
No, they look great, and they're. I'm big on consistency, and they're very consistent. So
that's what I'm trying. I'm trying to get this look. Like I have it pictured in my head of what I want. Still haven't got it yet, but it's a work in progress.
Okay, well, don't sell yourself short because they're really nice.
Well, thank you.
Really
nice. I appreciate it.
So talk a little bit about when did you start your Instagram account? How long ago?
So it was right around when Rogue, my older German short hair, was maybe 3 or 4 months old, and I was like, you know what, it'd be cool to throw out like a hunting style page with some bird dogs. And I started it just as a page for just the dogs. And I have Rogue, and then there's Oakley. They're both German short hairs. Okay. And I just kind of got into it, making it their page. And then as I went through more and more and learned more about German short hairs and training them and whatnot, I realized that my dogs have a pretty good natural ability, and I lucked out. So I started looking at breeding, and ultimately that's what I'd like to do with both of them. Okay. Just to pass on their traits.
Yeah.
So now it's switched from Rogue and Oakley to now it's Rogue House.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you pronounce it House. H-A-U-S?
Yeah, I believe it's German. There's some places around Colorado that, it's like the new up-and-coming fad to call a place a house.
Oh, okay.
A house could be a number of things, like a coffee shop.
Gotcha.
There's hotels. But over in Germany, a lot of theirs are, say, Mager von Mager House.
Oh, okay.
So I just kind of stole a little bit of the German side of the dogs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, since we're touching on the dogs a little bit, let's get into that. What drew you to the GSPs?
I know close to nothing about hunting dogs. The only thing that I knew is I grew up hunting behind German short hairs. Okay. From the age of like 14, 15 on, I had a buddy, his uncle had 2 German short hairs, and I got the privilege to hunt behind them and watch them point. And when the time came where I was walking fields without a dog, and I'm like, this sucks.
This is not fun.
Yeah, I was like, I need a dog. So I reached out to my buddy's uncle. I said, hey, tell me everything you know, what your recommendations are. And he actually told me, they're crazy dogs. Do not get one. And I was like,
so he was trying to steer you away.
Yeah, exactly. They're wild dogs.
Sure.
But I think any working dog has that.
They're going to have a level of energy.
Yeah, exactly. But more than anything was just, that's all I knew.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, and what kind of research did you? So when the time came for you to say, all right, I need a dog. Like, what kind of research did you put in to like find the breeder? Or like, what kind of questions were you asking for like the line of dog you were kind of looking for, a style, all those things?
Well, to start, I knew I wanted a GSP, and I just started on YouTube, and I found Standing Stone Kennels. I think a number of guys know about them. They're a pretty big kennel in Kansas, but started watching their videos on YouTube, and from that point on, I was like, yeah, this is the kind of dog I want. And then as far as breeders, actually, I was looking on Facebook, and I lucked out. I found Jet Black Kennels in Brush, Colorado.
Okay.
And
local, nice.
Yeah, they're local, and reached out to them, and you're done when you go see the puppy. It's a done deal.
Yep, that's the dog you're walking away with.
Yeah, exactly. I think Rogue was maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks old. We went hunting, came back and saw her, and I was like, oh, I'm sold.
Nice. Yeah. Nice.
But I asked a number of questions about their pedigrees and who in their family has hunted and what titles they've earned. More than anything, I think the important thing with short hairs, and probably any working dog in general, is just, do they have that on-off switch? And me personally, I think that part of that is bred into them, and I think that a number of it comes from training. But this kennel has very calm dogs inside the house.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, okay. So I asked a bunch about that, and then back when I was doing all this, I just didn't know a whole lot about hunting dogs or what goes into training. So I really just got lucky.
That's okay.
Yeah.
How old are both your dogs?
So Rogue will be 2 in, I think, November. And Oakley is going to be 1 at the end of this month, I believe. I'm horrible with dates. I haven't written down somewhere. Totally. My calendar has to remind me, like, hey, it's the brown dog's birthday.
Nice. So, well, that kind of leads into this. Well, describe kind of each of the dogs. Like, how are they different, if at all? Like, and also how are they similar? Not just on looks, but also hunting style.
Yeah, so they're both actually from the same kennel. They're one litter apart, same parents.
Oh, nice.
And I'll tell you what, they couldn't be more different as far as personality traits.
Oh, wow.
Rogue is very independent, and she loves any animal there is. Squirrels, chipmunks, you name it, she likes all animals. And she has a high prey drive for them. Whereas Oakley is super personable, and she would be sitting in your lap wherever you are. And she really only likes birds. Like, she doesn't show an interest in really any other animals.
Okay.
And they hunt in completely different ways. It's hard to describe. But I've tried to train them to know, stay somewhat close to me in the field, just because Colorado, the birds are wild here.
Sure.
They flush way out, and it's not uncommon to have a dog that'll flush one. So I try to train them to stay close. Both of them do a decent job with that. And then they have very different ways of how they pattern the field, I guess I'd say.
Are they both similar range when they're out?
Yeah, they're both similar range. Oakley's a lot younger, so I don't have quite as much control over her. But I'd say on a good day they're within, 80 yards of me or so. Yeah. And both of them quarter decent. But Rogue is really good about hitting a lot of ground, whereas Oakley uses her nose in a way that I'll never understand. I just have to trust her. Sure. And I've been walking fields, and she'll all of a sudden turn around and go over stuff we've covered. And I'm like, what are you doing, dog? Yeah. Do you smell anything? And there she is on point. I'm like, well, I just got to trust this dog. So it's awesome when you get to say that you just follow your dog and trust
that your dog proves you wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Time and time again, what you're describing, I've had a million times with that dog right there.
Yep.
I'm like, dude,
where are you going?
Yeah, it does not look birdie over there. Right, the bird's over here.
Yeah, nope. There's no cover. Get over here.
Exactly. Real quick, I was going to ask. So with the GSPs, yours at least, do they have any fur drive at all, or not really? Because I've heard some do with that German line, but
I would say Rogue does. She's an expert. This is going to be gross, but she's an expert at catching rats and mice. Okay. Chipmunks, you name it. If it has blood running through its veins, she's trying to get it. Okay. And I haven't really had too many encounters with that many other animals. Sure. But I'll bet she would chase it and try to get it.
Would try, yeah.
Oakley, on the other hand, she just likes birds, and her bird drive is just through the roof.
Okay. That's cool. My buddy, he's actually over in Lone Tree, Matt Harrell. He's got 2 older GSPs, and I think it's Maddie, his younger one. Kind of similar, like mice and squirrels and all that kind of stuff. We'll be at the tailgate after a hunt. We're all kind of just chilling, exhausted. Gage is resting. And we're like, where's Maddie? She's off like digging for mice. She's like always hunting.
That's Rogue.
Yeah, it's always hunting.
It's crazy how they can all have a little bit different about them,
Oh, totally. What made you choose females over male? Did you just have experience, or what were you kind of looking for?
I don't really know. I've always liked male dogs a little more. I felt like they're a little more biddable in the past. I would say I probably just I fell in love with her when I saw her.
You saw that puppy and
yeah, and then with Oakley, my second one, they had like 2 or 3 females, and only one was livered. I'm like, oh, that's the one I want.
Okay.
Mostly, really, like I like the black look a little more.
Oh, okay, yeah. And so just to catch everyone up, you have one liver.
Yeah, so Rogue is black, and Oakley's liver.
Okay.
Yeah, I should have said that, but. Really, the only reason I went for a liver one is so I could tell the difference in the field.
That's good.
But I don't know if I have a good answer for why I chose females. Now, I do have a puppy on order, and it's definitely going to be a male.
I saw this.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
That is exciting. So totally different kennel?
Yeah, different kennel.
Okay.
It's Show Me out of Missouri.
Okay.
Good pedigree. I'm excited. Lee is the one doing the breeding with him, and he's just a good guy. We've had hour-long conversations about this little guy.
Nice.
He's not even born yet.
Okay, so that's an exciting process. So Gage was kind of a spur of the moment, like puppy was available. Got my first bird dog. Mm-hmm. Gunner, my second one, I did the whole like before he was born, talk to the breeder, like ask all these questions. Right. It's exciting. It's kind of exciting to get to pick out the parents really before the puppy's even there.
Yeah,
and that's I tell people all the time that's the most important thing you can do is pick out the parents and the grandparents and their parents and just go down the line.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I didn't know enough about it when I was buying my first 2, but I really, like I said, just lucked out.
Yeah,
because they're doing great.
Let's dive into that a little bit more. So with this third dog coming now, you got the first 2 fairly close together. What like different questions were you asking the third time around now?
The biggest thing this time around is the on-off switch. How well they do in the house versus in the field, and then after that, I would say are they genetically tested, and are their hips and elbows checked, eyes checked, and all that. Other than that, I mean, I think just looking if they come from a good pedigree and good hunting family, then. Yeah. I really didn't have that many questions this go around, surprisingly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We got to touch on as well. So you're getting a male, you got 2 females, and you did mention you want to do a kennel earlier in this. Talk about that a little bit. Like, what are your kind of hopes going forward?
Yeah, I want to start off small. Nothing crazy in mind, but maybe a litter a year to start with. Okay. Part of the problem is their heat cycle is during hunting season, so. Sure. I'll get maybe one heat cycle that isn't, and then go from there. But I'll tell you what, I think that I kind of owe it to my dogs to pass on their genetics.
Sure.
And
you know what you got, it's good, and you want to carry that on.
Yeah, like there's studies out there that genetics are like 38%, 39% of what you're going to get out of the offspring. And really, I think that's the only reason that my dogs can find birds, because I'll tell you what, I don't know what I'm doing. They've taught me more.
They're making you look good.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, I think dogs do that. They have a way of. I mean, upland hunting in general for me is about the dogs.
Oh,
absolutely. I do it because of the dogs. I got into it because of the dogs. Mm-hmm. So I know people say it's a little cliche and people oversay it, but for me, and it sounds like you, it's really about them.
Yeah, it's a passion. I'm sure it's the same.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing watching your dog out in the field doing what it's bred to do.
Yeah.
And then
that part will never get old.
No.
Never get old.
No. The second they leave that tailgate, they're just on a mission to find those birds.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you. My dogs, I don't even think it's so much about getting the bird and getting to retrieve it. I think that it's more about getting that point. And then it's like it's almost like drug addiction. You know? They get that point, and it's like drugs entering their system.
Like that's almost the reward.
Yeah.
I don't know about your dog's Gage. He's not a natural retriever. I did force break him last year.
Okay.
But for him and for me, if he gets a point in or gets on a bird on a trip or in a day, I'm happy with that.
Oh,
as long as he got a point, I feel like he got rewarded for his work, all his miles he put in.
Yep, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Both my dogs are the same. They need to be force fetched. Rogue does a little better job than Oakley, but that's one thing with the pointer breed that I think is pretty common throughout is they aren't the greatest at retrieving.
Sure. Well, and some so Gage's line of dogs. So Jeff out in Elizabeth, he bred these dogs, for years and years and years. He's been doing this maybe 25, 30 years, and it's all horseback field trials is what they were breeding his dogs for. And retrieving was not even on the scale of a point system. So like he wasn't going to breed dogs that had that in there because he didn't need that.
Right.
He said some of his dogs will. There's some. I think he started a few dogs that had that ability, and he says, hey, if that's really important, then you want a puppy from these dogs. But the majority of his dogs they're really top notch, they're just not natural retrievers.
Yeah, interesting.
And I think it's just personal preference. I think when I first got Gage, I could get hung up a little bit on it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's that he needs retrieve. Like that's like the end all be all. I think I'm opening up to it a little bit more. Like, yeah, it'd be nice, but I'm finding like over the last few years I've been doing this, I'm like, I don't, that's not the highest priority for me. I want good dog work. I want them to range well, listen well, and just have that good instinct.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with that. My dogs will chase the bird down if it's still running.
Yeah.
And somehow they kill it. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Do you experience the same thing?
He'll typically stand over it.
Yeah. They guard
it until I get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of what mine do. And occasionally I'll get a retriever.
Yeah.
That's just a reward, an extra reward at the end of it. So.
Yeah. So Gunner's off at training, and I checked in with the trainer a couple days ago. I said, hey, how's he doing? Like, he's like, he's finding birds great. He's pointing great. Releasing the birds is another story.
He wants to
he's
keep
like, we're working on and I kind of knew that going in. All the birds I've had Gunner on, he will literally just lock his jaw.
Really?
He will just lock it. I pry and pry and pry. And I've used a little bit more pressure to get that bird out, but it's like he's possessed. that drug takes over.
Yeah. You know what I have found with retrieving is I finally got my dogs in some water.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was having the toughest time. I throw a dummy out there, and they just stare at it. And then I try to shoo them in there, and they get to the point where it's time to swim, and they come right back to me. So I finally had to get out there in my waders,
with them.
Which was a horrible idea. I should have just wore a swimsuit because I got soaking wet.
Oh, sure. This is recently?
This was like maybe 2 weeks ago.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And I took my buddy's lab out with me.
Oh, okay.
So the lab actually did all the training, not me.
Yeah.
And I think that was able to get them that retrieving drive because I don't know, maybe it's just more fun. Yeah, seeing the other dog, and then it's more fun maybe swimming to it and bringing it back. I have no idea.
Interesting.
So I'm hoping that maybe that'll help a little bit of that retrieving.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Time will tell, I guess.
He's only had one experience in the water. And
okay.
He was a year old. I didn't know what I was doing, so I literally brought him out there with me and kind of plopped him in. And, swam with him back to shore. Don't recommend that. Let's talk a little bit more about training. Have you done most of the training yourself? Did you learn from someone? Did you use a pro trainer? What was that process like?
I have done most of it myself, mostly just because I really enjoy it. It's an escape for me.
It's kind of soothing, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's therapy in a way. And there's just nothing better about watching your dog finally have something that it clicks, you know? And from that point on, you're like, oh, cool, I taught them that. But no, I've done most of it myself. I do not know what I'm doing by any means, but
none of us do.
It's always, we're always going to learn.
Yeah.
But most of my training that I've followed is from Standing Stone Kennels.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, they're amazing.
They do some amazing YouTube videos. Their YouTube or their Instagram channel's really good. They put out some really good content.
I have never had one of their training sessions not work. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
That's really good. Are you kind of writing out? So are you watching what you enjoy? You know what you want to work with your dog on. Are you kind of writing out a plan of some milestones you want to hit with your dogs? Take this next puppy you get. like, what's kind of your process going into this? Are you saying, all right, first month or two I have him, I want to hit this goal, and then after that?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever written anything down. It's just kind of, random in a way. But I think the most important thing with a young dog is to make sure that they're introduced to a bird and with gunfire, and that way they're not gun shy. But that's one of the first things I do, minus, sit and just general obedience around the house. But I do a bird and gun intro, and then I start working on getting them to point naturally. And one thing that at least for me, I think that if you can enhance their natural abilities rather than forcing them to do something, I would rather train that way if I can.
Sure.
So the pointing drills that I do, it's just going off their natural ability and enhancing that. And then down the road, it gets into some whoa training and getting them to hold steady and all that. But with this next one, I think that what I will probably change is start a little younger because they're so smart.
They really are. They pick up quick.
That drive is just in them. Yeah. So I think that I'll probably start a little younger, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And you, we were talking a little bit earlier about pigeons. I know you're a big pigeon guy. You got a bunch of them. So obviously that came after the dogs, right? Out of a necessity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
I don't know if you were like a cool pigeon guy, like
no.
You had them before the dogs, and you're like, hey.
No, in fact, like everyone that knows me, like, you're a weirdo.
Do you, at work, I'm around a lot of just non-hunters, and I say, like, in conversation, I'm like, yeah, we have chickens and pigeons and dogs. And I'm like, wait, back up.
You said pigeons?
Pigeons? I'm like, yeah. And then they say, what do you do with them? And then I have to go into the whole, like, G to PG version of what I do with these pigeons.
Yeah.
And everyone's been really cool, but they're like, wait, huh? What? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, the dog will hunt them, in quotation, like in the off season. Yeah. I fire a blank pistol, blah, blah, blah. They're like, huh? Okay.
Yeah. I get the same reaction. Even from, hunting guys. They're like, why do you have them in your backyard, though? Like, what are you doing? Because I live in the city. Sure. I have neighbors on every side of me. But yeah, I've become quite a, pigeon fanatic, nice. I guess I'll say, to the point where it's really hard for me to shoot a kill pigeon now. I don't know if you experienced the same thing.
I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I'm not there yet. Maybe it'll be different because I just got these a month ago.
So in fact, when I have to shoot them for training, I buy pigeons from other people because I don't want to shoot my own.
Next level.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. But they have little personalities, and then they have their little, I don't know, what are they called? Chicklets?
Yep. The squeakers?
Yeah,
they call them squeakers when they're real young.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know. I've grown a little bit of a heart for them.
It's fun though. It goes back to that just the dog training thing and process in general. Mm-hmm. It's kind of another component to it, another level. It's maybe that's the thing about dog training. Like it's enjoyable to tend to the pigeons and make sure they're fed and watered and all that stuff. As weird as it sounds, it's part of the process. It's part of helping us create good bird dogs.
Yeah, without pigeons, I wouldn't have bird dogs.
Yeah, they're huge. That's awesome, man. Yeah. Talk a little bit about is it NAVDA or NASTRA you're in?
The only thing that I've done is AKC tests.
AKC, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, talk a little bit about that because I know both your dogs just earned their junior hunt.
Yeah, they just, what was that, 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago?
That's pretty recent.
Yeah, I took them out for their first hunt test through AKC. Just did the junior test, and I'll be honest, I didn't know what to expect. I went out there and I found a lady that looked like she knew what she was doing. I was like, hey,
and this is your first one, right?
This is my first one, yeah. So I said, hey, can you walk me through this? What's my dog allowed to do? What can I do? I read the rule book.
Did you just show up, or did you?
No, I registered.
I'm here, guys. That'd be pretty awesome.
I registered, but no, she was very helpful, and it was pretty cool. It was a different experience.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the AKC testing is a lot of breeders, not necessarily so much people that all they do is hunt.
Okay,
but it was good. It was good. We had some crappy weather, but the dogs were able to get one of their runs through, and they both got straight nines. I think that's almost perfect. I'm not too sure, but it was good. I think they have to locate a bird, find a bird, show desire to hunt, point the bird, and then hold steady until wing.
Okay.
And then you have to fire a blank pistol. But they both did good. Oakley's like 11 months. She's a little puppy still.
Yeah, it's young.
And I was a little concerned taking her out because her obedience, especially without an e-collar, because you can't have an e-collar for these.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, so I was a little nervous, but I let her off the leash. And the field's over one direction.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, she's running that way. And then she gets downwind.
Oh, no.
And upwind is the huge crate of like 300 quail. And I'm like, oh, no. She turns towards it.
Here we go.
And she starts creeping and getting to a point. And I'm like, no. Those are not the birds that you're supposed to point.
I know. Are you able to communicate with them just verbally?
Yeah.
Or do they take points
I
off?
got lucky. I think that the judges wanted to stay a little closer to me because it was my first time.
Okay.
But I was like, I guess I got to go get her. 'Cause
Yeah.
she's not listening. She's locked onto these birds.
Oh, no way.
And I was like, well, she did what she was supposed to do. But after that, she did good.
That's awesome. So back up a little bit to the judging system. So it's they're steady till flush and then they can chase, or steady through
for
the
junior
shot?
they can chase after the flush.
Okay.
I think for senior and master they have to hold steady till
Steady.
shot or release. I haven't read the rule book yet.
Okay.
But that's a goal of
Dude,
mine.
I
in the
love that. You
future.
just jumped in. I love it.
Yeah, I figured why not, and
It's a spring, summertime.
Yeah.
Let's nothing else going
if
on.
nothing else, it's a training session, right?
Yeah, totally.
No,
couple
but it
couple
went
birds.
good.
And,
I took the kiddos out.
Oh,
That's
good.
one thing I haven't talked about. I got a boy and a girl that I just love taking out hunting with me. My
Nice.
son's 9. So this season might be his first season carrying
Okay.
a gun. We'll
Okay.
see.
Nice.
And then my daughter, she tags along. I
yeah.
throw her in her backpack. Every once
Yeah,
in a
there you
while.
go.
So
I haven't done the backpack thing yet. I actually
Yeah, it's-
I need to
it's
get my
hard.
kids out. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure carrying a 40, 50-pound kid on your back through the uplands.
yeah. But they're good sports about it all. And I actually just got my son a new shotgun, so
Oh, nice.
that'll make it a little more exciting. For him.
Oh, that's going to take it to a new level for him.
Yeah,
I'm
especially if he gets to load it. We'll see.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
we got to be safe.
Oh, sure.
And hunting behind dogs is just
Yeah,
you can't be too safe.
That's the other component too. It's not just people, but dogs and
Right?
both
Yeah,
those
because
out
both
there.
my dogs are still chasing. So
Yeah.
quite frankly, I've had to not shoot at birds before because of it.
I was going to ask you: is that something you want? Do you want to get your dogs steady to wing shot fall? Is that
Yeah,
something you?
It is.
desire?
It's something I've debated if I'm going to do a release after a gunshot or release with their name or command or something. And I think I've decided that I want to do their name mostly because if it's a release with a gunshot, they're both going to chase. And then I'm going to have this tug of war over a bird. So I think I'm going to try to do their name
Okay.
and let one dog get the retrieve. I figure it's fair that the dog points it, gets the retrieve.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm still working all that out.
Sure.
But hopefully by next season I have them close.
Yeah.
I think Rogue will definitely be close, but Oakley's
Yeah.
still a young one.
Yeah,
so.
no, it's let her have fun and
Yeah.
Because did you hunt her this past season?
I did.
Okay.
She was like 5
Okay.
months old in her first field, and I really hadn't done all that much training with her. Mostly just a little pointing
You
training.
let that natural ability kick
Yeah,
in.
well, and more than anything, she learned from Rogue, and she even learned to honor Rogue's point all on her own,
Oh, nice.
which was pretty sweet. But
That's really cool.
yeah,
That's awesome, man. I had one more thing. We were just talking, and something else popped in my head, but it'll come back to me. Let's talk about a little bit about your hunting. What kind of hunting are you doing most? I know you mentioned you hunt in Colorado a bit. Are you traveling outside of Colorado?
last season I did not. I would like to. I'm trying to go to South Dakota this year, maybe Idaho, but we'll see. Mostly, everything actually. My entire life of hunting has been Colorado and Kansas, so it's time to get out there and explore a little more.
Yeah.
But I've done a lot of pheasant hunting in Colorado. We actually just got up last season for grouse hunting, which that is a blast.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. I've only tried blue grouse once. He was maybe a year and a half or 2.
Okay.
Came across some feathers, stuff like that, but no grouse yet. But
Yeah, we only got into 2 out of 4 trips, so a lot of
hey,
hiking.
it's not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, it was
Half.
fun.
Yeah, that's a blast.
But yeah, I would say grouse is probably my favorite, mostly just because of the scenery.
Have you tried Colorado sage grouse yet?
I have
Chasing
not.
them? Okay.
So that's what, north by Wyoming, I think?
Northwest, yeah.
And it's
There's
like,
only a couple units that you can hunt.
yeah, and it's like a week long maybe.
If that.
Yeah,
It's like 5-6
yeah.
days maybe.
Yeah, I know the population's pretty low.
Yeah.
I think Wyoming has a decent amount.
Well, yeah,
I have not tried.
They have a longer season for sure, but
Yeah.
then there's all the stuff on populations are down and bird numbers are down and stuff. So they're in Montana too. So it's definitely on my bucket list this year.
Yeah, same here. What are there? I think there's 10 species of upland bird in Colorado.
Yeah, in Colorado.
So
Yeah, I was
like
trying
to get to them all.
I know it'd be super fun.
Yeah.
I was just talking with someone a couple days ago on the podcast about this. He was asking. They want to move to Colorado actually, and so he was asking. He turned the interview on me. He's like, "Hey, so tell me about the upland hunting there and all that." And the vet I go to, he's actually a big quail hunter.
Oh, very
and,
cool.
He goes down like southeast Colorado and has a blast down there. I do remember what I was going to ask you before. Is your plan to? I'm always curious with people that have multiple dogs. Is your plan to hunt them together, or are you with a strategy of like hunt one of them hard, then rest them, switch them out? What's kind of your plan going forward?
Last season, I hunted both of them together, pretty much every field. When we bring that third dog into the mix, I think I'm going to give one a break. Move to the next field, give another one a break. Just because I've hunted with guys that have 3 dogs out there, and it just looks hard.
It's a lot.
Yeah, like even controlling the e-collar, like you got to switch back and forth to 3 different dogs. But
Yeah.
I think I'll probably stick to 2 at a time. It's probably a little easier to watch them and make sure they're not running off.
Yeah, exactly. Which e-collar are you running right now?
Right now, I have the Garmin 200i handheld.
Oh yeah.
With I think it's the T5 collar, and really I'm mostly.
So it's the bigger one or a smaller one?
It's the bigger one. Is that the T5? I think.
So the orange one's a TT15.
Okay.
The red one's a TT15 mini.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
so
just
it is the
battery
TT15.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's the orange one. Okay.
Yeah, but the reason that I went with that is I was running a different GPS collar on them, and it was super delayed, like 30, 40 seconds.
Oh, wow.
And mostly with the grouse hunting that I've done,
That's
the dogs,
thick.
yeah, it's thick, and you have no idea where your dog is at sometimes.
That's where those GPS comes in handy.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last thing that I want is to ever lose a dog.
Yeah.
I think the investment is.
Oh, I'm a big believer in GPS collars. I had a buddy's dog run off at a trainer. They were in Utah on vacation. I got the call from the trainer. Hey, I've missed your dog for 8 hours. Just FYI. So we all go out looking for the dog. They drive back from Utah. We're looking for this dog. And next day they bought one. Day after that, my other buddy bought one, and then we got one as well.
Yeah, it's great insurance.
Yeah, just for that insurance. You put all this time and effort into a hunting dog and a family companion. Mm-hmm. Last thing you want to do is call your wife up on the way home from a hunting trip and be like, honey, I'm coming home, but we don't have a dog.
Yeah. Did your buddy ever find the dog?
They did.
Okay,
yes.
good.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the dog came back.
Cliffhanger there.
I think. Tune in next week. I think total the dog was gone about 12 hours maybe.
Gosh, yeah,
until
that's
they got back. It was just before dark. They saw this little white. It was a Brittany. It was a brother to Gage. It's a little white Brittany streaking across the plains of Colorado.
Thank goodness they found it.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Because it's easy to do. Like losing a dog is.
Well, yeah, I mean,
fairly common thing.
You think you get them on a deer or even a bird or the dog gets over a hill. Yeah, and you talk about the woods of Colorado here. It's again, it took him up grouse hunting, and it was I was still very new. He was young, and I was just super freaked out. Like he'd get over a little hill, and you don't see him for a little bit. Yeah. That's where you just gotta kind of trust at that point. But having that GPS is just that that peace of mind.
Well, especially with different species, I feel like, at least for me, I'll let my dog range more.
Sure.
Like there were times where I was grouse hunting. They're like 500-600 yards away.
Yeah. As long as you know, then you can get to them if something. It's just that peace of mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. What do we got here? Let's go back to your kids for real quick. So you're talking about getting your kids into hunting. I think that's I got 5 kiddos, so I got a lot of work to do. Getting them all. That's
a lot of shotguns to buy.
It's a lot of shotguns, man. Oh my gosh, don't remind me. All the shells, all the orange vests.
Yeah.
Which is super fun. I just made a post this morning actually, just on getting my kids excited about the birds and letting them experience like that part of hunting in that controlled environment still, and so they're all showing a little bit of interest. How'd that go for you and your kids? Like, how were they showing interest? How'd you introduce them to it?
So I've had my son, he's 9 now, shooting guns since he was maybe, I don't know, a little BB gun at like 3 years old. So I think that was probably one of the bigger things that I did, is just got him interested in guns, because every guy out there likes guns.
Sure.
Right? So I got him a little 410, let him shoot that. We've upgraded now. He's got a 20 gauge. And then I think just taking him out, especially this last season, I got to take him dove hunting, and I let him have a loaded gun.
Nice.
We're sitting in a blind. We're watching doves, fly right in front of us. I'm the only one next to him in the blind, so I felt that was the safest way to start him.
Yeah.
And he loved it. He actually killed his first dove.
Nice.
It's been a blast getting both of them out there. My daughter's only 4, so she mostly just rides in my backpack or walks along,
Totally.
and she's just in for the fun. But along with them, I've actually recently got my wife into hunting.
Oh, nice.
And I'll tell you what, with my wife and both my kids, they are huge animal lovers. Like we have 6 chickens, and I was talking to my wife about, do you think you can shoot a bird? And she's like, yeah, I think so.
Has she ever?
Yeah, she got her last season. She got her first couple birds, which was fun. But yeah, she was definitely sad about it. So, you know what, though? I get sad about it still to this day.
Sure.
I think that you just have to have respect for the animal.
Absolutely.
And part of that, for me at least, is I'm a big softie. And
yeah, you love animals. I know.
Yeah.
I'm saying we got the chickens and pigeons and dogs. And so I enjoy animals. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's been fun getting my wife and kids into it all at the same time. We actually did a pheasant hunt with a couple buddies, my wife and 2 kids, and we went pretty much all day without seeing much. And all of a sudden, I see one of my buddies just running through the field, with a shotgun in front of him. I'm like, what the heck is he doing? So I watch him, and he's like sprinting after this rooster. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then it flushes, of course. It flies up and over this windrow.
Yeah.
And my wife spotted it. So she hadn't killed a bird yet, and then it was another friend's birthday. So I'm like, all right, wind's going this way. You guys go on this side of the windrow, and we'll go on this side, hopefully flush it out to you. So we're walking along, and all of a sudden I hear "rooster" from my wife, and she is the most fun to hunt with, because she just gets all excited. Yeah, and she screams and yells "rooster!" Oh my gosh! And so, anyways, my buddy, it was his birthday, he got to shoot the bird.
Oh, nice.
My wife just sat and watched it. That's I'd have to let him tell the story, because he witnessed it all. But so I hear the gunshots go off, and I run over there, and he's running up to like this cattle trough or something like that, and the bird had actually fallen right in the middle of it.
Oh, no way.
And so I send both my dogs over there to retrieve it, and all of a sudden there goes the rooster sprinting. And I'm like, oh gosh. There goes my wife and buddy sprinting, and my daughter's like standing right here with me, and I'm like, well, I'll stay with my daughter.
So you got the kids with you too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So they all got to witness that, and the bird, I swear that thing ran like 2 miles.
My gosh.
And the dogs never saw it. So they could never retrieve it, but my wife actually chased it down.
Oh, good.
And she got to get it, but that was a blast.
That's awesome. Yeah. Are you hunting public, private, mixed?
Mostly public.
Okay.
I've tried the whole knock on people's door thing, and I think that when I bring my son and I say, hey, first time hunter, I'd like to get
a boy out. It's his first season.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like most people are really willing to let you get out there, but there's a right way to do it, and I have had people send their dogs after me. So after that, I stopped doing it for a little bit. But Colorado public land's a little rough, so from time to time I'll knock on doors. And,
But I've knocked on one door.
Yeah.
In Colorado, and it was an okay experience. He said no, but he's really nice about it. And he actually said, "Hey, maybe check back next year." I was like, okay, cool. Like we'll do. I haven't done that yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think my experience is about 50-50. And most of the time they're nice about it. In fact, one of my buddies asked and got invited inside for some warm milk.
Oh, nice.
And they let us hunt their property.
Nice.
So that was cool.
Well, I think I mentioned earlier, my buddy Matt, he's over in Lone Tree here. Him and his dad both are all about the private land and knock on doors, and they do it really well. And I got to we did a snow goose hunt with them, and I hunted pheasant with Matt and his dad, and it's kind of it's reassuring watching 2 people do it and then going, oh, that's how you interact. That's how you carry yourself. That's because time and time again they're getting invited in for coffee, snacks. They're talking to these landowners for 20, 30 minutes,
right?
And just building relationships and talking about this one guy said, hey, I got a kid on the way in a couple months. Like, oh, so cool. Me and the other guy were in the truck just kind of watching all this unfold at the front door. So it was cool to see. It's cool to see. It is possible.
I've actually thought about going before the season. That way I'm not walking up in orange and the dogs in the back barking. And I feel like it might be a little more respectful. And I might give that a shot this year. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. You said you're going to try to get to South Dakota this year?
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe late October, I think, is the plan.
Okay.
But we have a lot of different plans going, so you know how that can be.
Oh, sure. There's all these ideas and hopes, but
And I'm not a good planner. I plan about a week in advance if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
One thing for sure is we're planning a grouse hunt.
Nice.
In September. So.
Nice. That's awesome.
We'll do that. Hopefully, get into South Dakota. I would really love to get to Idaho.
Yeah. Do a little. Do you have a species up there you're looking for? Huns. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never shot one. I've never seen one.
Okay. Same.
So I would love to get into those, and they're just such cool birds. But
yeah. Well, you could come up to Montana with me.
Oh,
September.
Yeah.
I'm doing a little September
cool.
Montana trip. I have 2 guaranteed wife-approved trips. So far.
There you go.
It's, one to Nebraska early September, and then later September up to Montana.
Awesome.
So
that's awesome.
So we'll see. We should talk more.
Yeah, definitely.
What's some gear you've added over the past season or two that for a new hunter out there, new dog owner out there? What's something that 1 or 2 things that you think is valuable to add to your collection?
Well, we talked about the collars. I think that's really important with GPS and just having that assurance that most likely you're not going to lose your dog. That would be probably number 1 on my list. Number 2 would be some good kennels. God forbid you get in a bad accident. You want those dogs to be safe because, like you said, you're putting a lot of time, money, and effort into these dogs. And for me, they're part of my family.
Yeah.
So good kennels that'll keep them safe. And then, like you and I both did, the topper just to keep them warm. Other than that, I don't know. I don't get too into gear except for guns.
Nice. Yeah, you do. You have the Frankie, don't you?
Yeah, I just got the Frankie. What is it? The Instinct SL.
SL. Okay,
and I love it. It's like 5.5 pounds.
Are you a 20 gauge guy?
I just switched. So I was always a 12 gauge, mostly just because I do some waterfowl too.
Sure.
And I just switched to 20 for upland at least. And I figured the wife has a 20. My son has a 20, so I might as well get one.
Yeah,
then.
might as well. Dude,
I can shoot their ammo, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Share some ammo. I don't know if you've listened to the podcast at all. I'm a big 20 gauge fan.
Very cool.
So I have the Frankie LX.
Okay, I looked at
LX
that one.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
It shoots great. It's light. It's my first over-under too, and it's just been a blast.
Very cool.
To get.
Yeah, that Frankie's my first. I have a Frankie Affinity. Semi-auto, which I loved.
Yeah.
Frankie in general is just a great gun.
Dude,
you can't go
super
wrong.
Happy. Good quality. It looks nice and really I think reasonable for you're talking about over-unders.
Absolutely.
I think the value's there. For sure.
Yeah, but as far as gear goes, I would say shotguns are probably my number 1 thing.
I mean, you got to have a good shotgun.
You do. You do. And I just...
you don't have to, but it's nice. It feels nice.
Plus, any excuse to buy another gun, right?
Oh, sure. Totally.
I finally got my wife, my son, and I all some over-unders, so that's been cool.
Oh, nice. So you guys all have an over-under?
Yeah, I actually found my son this sweet little gun. It's called a Yildiz.
Okay.
And it's Turkish. And the only stores in America that sell it is Academy Sports.
Oh, wow.
But it's a little 20 gauge. It's a youth, so it's got the short stock, the shortened barrel.
Okay.
And it's like 5 pounds or so.
Oh, wow. That's
auto
perfect.
Ejector, selector switch.
I'm impressed your 9-year-old shooting a 20 gauge already. That's awesome.
Yeah, actually, that thing I think might kick less than his 410.
Oh,
it's
wow.
just a very well-made gun.
That's great. That's great.
Over-under,
we're talking about kids too. Over-under probably is the safest too for a kid.
Yeah, I would agree. There's
really
way less moving parts. They don't have to, load it or cock it or anything.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. All right. So every episode I kind of end with just some kind of rapid fire questions. We'll go through. Just give me your short answer. You can elaborate on a couple things if you need to, but. If not a GSP, you're a big GSP guy, what's your second favorite dog breed?
So I'll preface this with I don't know anything about other hunting dogs.
Okay, you know what you like and you stick to it.
Well, I don't even know much about the GSP. I just know that's what I picked, so now I'm sticking with it. And I love the look of them.
I will say they are beautiful dogs.
Yeah, they're just like, that's what a dog looks like to me.
Yeah.
But I would say probably an English setter.
Okay.
They're just fancy looking. Like they look like they belong in a mansion. You know.
Yes.
I don't know that I would want them in the field.
Sure.
Just because they look so good. But
they do look good. That high tail on point too.
Yeah, they are sweet looking dogs.
Nice.
But again, I don't know much about them. And then I just recently saw, like, I think it's Llewellyn setter.
Oh yeah.
Is that the same thing?
Slightly different.
Okay.
Slightly different.
Okay. But those are cool.
I don't know much about. Yeah, I know
same.
they're. Do you follow like the Pheasants Forever Bird Dog for Habitat campaign they just did? I think it was like Bob St. Pierre or someone was joking around, but they had like the setter category people could donate to, and then there was a Llewellyn setter category.
Okay.
So they were saying the setter were getting less votes because they split those two breeds.
Oh, really?
GSP won, but so
interesting.
Okay, yeah, I think after every season of podcast I do, which will be about 10 or 12 episodes, I'm going to tally up all the
votes.
The votes of everyone's favorite dog breed. I've gotten a couple setters,
okay,
a couple GSPs. Yeah, it's been all over the board, but
yeah,
it's been fun. Awesome, man. Solo hunt with you and your dogs, or a group hunt with friends?
I would say a group hunt with my family.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, there's just nothing better than teaching my kids how to get out there and do some upland hunting. And then my wife is just a blast to hunt with. The high pitched screams. We give her crap for it.
Oh, sure.
I'll tell you what though, she fits right in with the guys when we're out hunting, which is a blast.
Nice.
So I would say her, maybe a couple buddies and the kiddos. I don't know. I'm not much of a solo guy.
Yeah, nice. All right, a couple more. I think you answered this already, but favorite bird species to hunt? So
far, dusky grouse.
Okay.
I've always loved pheasant. They're just, I have a love-hate relationship with them.
Yes, they can be frustrating.
Yeah, because they run those little punctures. So you'll watch them through the field. You see their little neck stick up,
take off, or you get to the edge of the field, and then they 50 yards out. They all just go poof.
Right. But I don't know. I don't know that I'd necessarily have a favorite bird to hunt. I would say the scenery is more what I like. Up in the mountains for grouse is just beautiful. You can't go wrong there. Yeah. And the couple days that I went home empty-handed, at least I got some good scenery and pictures. And,
there's a saying like no bad days. Like there's not a bad day when you're out there behind your dog with your family. Or,
exactly. And the dogs really do make the difference for me. I think just like you said.
Absolutely. What gun are you carrying into the uplands? I think you mentioned the Franke LS.
Yeah, Franke Instinct LS, and then I use the Affinity. It's like Affinity 3 Elite for waterfowl.
Okay. Have you taken your dogs waterfowl hunting with you?
I have not. So actually, all the waterfowl hunting I've done doesn't have water.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, I don't think they'll be able to pull a goose in yet. that would take some serious training. That would. Especially Oakley. She's a little thing. She's like 44 pounds.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The goose, half her weight, maybe.
Yeah, totally. There is, I think it's Gunner's mom or his dad. There's a picture of him online. And the French Brittany's, Gage is 44 pounds right now. Gunner is 32.
Okay.
So Gunner's small.
Yeah.
He's only about 10, 11 months. But French Brittany is generally that 35 range. Okay. And there's a picture of this, again, his either dad or mom, I forget, hauling in a big old Canada goose. Cool. Yeah, I think it's out of the water, too. I was like, wow, awesome. That's pretty sweet. Jeez. That goose is literally probably maybe the size of the Brittany. So,
have you got yours out for some waterfowl?
No, have not taken him out for waterfowl. Again, he doesn't retrieve. Gunner could. He's showing a lot of natural retrieve. Again, he'll do it if I force him. So maybe he would. Maybe he'd do all right with waterfowl. But I'm just finding myself. A big part of when I started hunting was waterfowl. Yeah. And then since the dogs, upland's just taken over.
Yeah,
everything.
Same thing.
Everything.
For me, there's not as much fun for the dog in waterfowl.
Yeah.
Maybe if there's water that they just swim out to, but just where
no shame against waterfowl. It's just more sitting and waiting.
Yeah.
Buddy and I joke all the time, or not joke, but just we enjoy upland hunting because you don't. you're not successful in this field, well, your luck could change the next field you stop at. Like it's kind of, you're moving, you're picking new habitat and ground to cover. Waterfowl, you gotta kind of get lucky, like make sure the birds are flying, your decoys look decent, and still all those things could be good, and the birds are still gonna go.
Yeah, they still just fly right over you.
Go right over.
And with my calling, they definitely fly over me. They just keep going.
They're like, what is
that's a dead goose
going
or
on down there? This thing getting squished. Last one on the rapid fire. Beverage of choice after a hunt.
My buddy and I started a thing where after we hunt, we drink a Fat Tire.
Okay. Well, I enjoy Fat Tire.
Yeah, Fat Tire is just good beer, but I like all beers, really.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have a favorite, but Fat Tire seems to be the one that shows up more than
others, in the cooler.
Yeah,
at
it's
the
just
end.
there, right?
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
How about you?
Probably a Coors Banquet.
Okay.
Yeah, love that Coors Banquet, or a regular Coors Light. So yeah, something light, something easy. Yeah, it's kind of my go-to.
Very cool.
Or just chug a Gatorade because I'm dying out there. I'm exhausted. One of my favorite things, I know we keep going back to GPS collars, but is watching how many miles the dogs do.
Oh, I know.
That's like, I love, and I have a
insane.
spreadsheet I'll track throughout the season. I'll just kind of plug different numbers in. Just kind of see like what they'll do in the season in the field. I'm like, damn.
What are they doing on a typical day for you?
Typical day, 22, 24 miles.
Okay, mine are about the same.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
That's kind of average.
And I'm usually about like 6 or 7, I think.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Maybe in 7-8 range.
Yeah, they work a lot harder than us.
They really
and
do.
And then when they get the bird, I miss, and then I just.
I know. He I swear he gives me dirty looks when I miss a bird. I missed a couple of good ones last year.
Yeah, same.
And he did his part. He did great, and I swear he just kind of. After I shot, he was still standing there. He's like, "Really, dude? Are you serious?"
Like that bird's supposed to fall.
I know.
Now.
It was a double too. 2 roosters flashed.
darn it.
Yeah, missed them both. But
that's funny. I actually I watched my this might not be PG, but I watched my uncle get out to we split a corner of a cornfield. My wife, my uncle, and I, and he goes in one corner, and I look over at him as I'm driving to the next corner, and he's taking a pee, and all of a sudden. 2 roosters flush up right in front of him. So I watch him try to zip his pants, pull his gun up, and get a shot off. And yeah, we didn't get those.
I was going to ask.
But he got 2 right after that. So.
This past season was the first time I hunted corners quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we did pretty well.
We had good success.
Are you getting corners?
Yeah, I mean, with a dog, you don't necessarily need a dog. I don't feel like with corners.
It's more fun though. Let's be honest.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and some of them are just thick, so having a dog to find it is good. But
absolutely.
Yeah, we've done quite a few. The nice thing is they're quick.
Yeah, they are. You can be pretty efficient.
Yeah,
especially with kids too. Probably kids corners are probably a good idea.
Yeah, I lucked out. My kids are good sports with walking.
That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't got my kids out on an official hunt yet.
Okay.
Hopefully this year, maybe the 9-year-old and the 7-year-old.
Yeah, perfect.
To get them out with working dogs and stuff like that, but I think they're ready. I think they're excited just to walk along, tag along.
Cool.
I think they'll enjoy it.
Yeah, it's definitely a blast.
Yeah.
I can't wait for my son to get his first.
Oh, dude, that's going to bring a tear to your eye.
Oh, I know.
Can you imagine?
Especially if the dog points it. He flushes it.
Write a book on that.
Yeah, exactly.
My plan this year. So I'm going to take the kids. So for my Montana trip in September, I'm going to take the kids and do a camping trip. And we're going to combo camp with the kids, and then I'll go back in September and hunt. So,
cool.
So yeah.
Where at?
East, I don't know exactly where, but southeast Montana.
Oh, very cool.
So we're going to kind of find some BLM land. And,
that's sweet.
Just figure out a good spot to camp. There's a couple campsites up there we might hit, but I know you can camp on the Bureau of Land Management blocks as well. So
cool. And what species are out there that
they have everything. So they got Sharpies, Huns, and sage grouse.
Very cool.
In the east, and then they also have, I think they have rough grouse in the mountains, and they have pheasants.
Woodcock, right? They got some woodcocks.
They might have woodcock and chucker, I believe, as well. Wow. So they have it all, kind of like Idaho. I think Idaho's similar.
Yeah.
They have everything. Chucker's definitely on my list too.
Yeah, I haven't been out chucker. It looks just brutal.
Yeah, it's like everyone I listen to on the podcast or whatever, it's like best advice: be in shape. Make sure your dog's pads are good, and make sure you're in shape because you're literally going up.
Yeah, steep terrain
up
there.
a mountain. I know. Do you follow Matt Davis at all from Final Rise?
Yes, I do.
I mean, big chucker hunter, and I follow him and Travis Warren quite a bit, and I did a podcast with him about a month ago, and he's like, yeah, just make sure you're in shape and your dog's ready to go. But where I was going with that is he just took a Frankie Instinct. You see, he made it a English stock, so he cut the pistol grip off of it, sanded it off, and turned his Frankie Instinct into a traditional.
Oh, I think I did
grip.
see that.
Yeah,
he sanded it all down.
Yeah, sanded it down, refinished it and stuff.
Yep.
I was like, oh
that's
my
awesome.
gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never shot an English grip, but
that's cool.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would feel in the I don't know. I'm just so used to having that like pistol grip feel. Right. I don't know. I'm sure
it'd be cool to try out.
Absolutely.
I'm looking to get my. I got to get some engraving done.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So I don't know if I could get my dogs on it. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Have you? I know you got a couple tattoos, right? Have you gone?
Yeah, I have a lot.
Have you gone the dog tattoo route?
I haven't. I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do that isn't necessarily like I don't know cliche. Or,
Sure.
I don't want something that. I want something that I thought of on my own and that it's specific and special for me.
Original.
But I don't know what. Yeah. I have tattoos for my kids.
Okay.
But no dogs yet.
Okay. Not yet.
Yeah, eventually.
What are your dogs' paper names? Do you get pretty creative with those, or?
Yeah, I did. So I don't have them memorized. But Rogue, I put in. It's like jet black Rogue, Fumar or something like that, and she when she was a little puppy, she had like a little lightning strike on her face. So I went with the German word for lightning.
Oh, nice.
And then Oakley's is kind of dorky. It's just, I think it's Jet Black Kennels, Oakley Dokie.
Okay, nice.
And I'll tell you what, it fits her personality because she's just a little dork. She is. I love that
Which
dog.
one's the older one?
Rogue is older.
Rogue is, okay.
And Oakley's younger, but they're just a blast.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
We'll end on this. So anyone listening out there who, let's say they just got a bird dog, they're just getting into upland hunting, what's something piece of advice you would want to pass on to them, maybe as they're preparing for their first season?
I would say just take that first step. If that's buying a gun, getting out in the field, then do it. Or if that means you want a dog, get a dog. It doesn't matter what breed. And I'll tell you what, I started knowing literally nothing about this, and my dogs do pretty decent. And most of that's on them, but the longer I go, or the more I do this, the more I just love it, and it's a passion for me. But you got to take that first step and get out there. And everyone that I've taken has grown to love it. I think I took maybe 3 or 4 new hunters out last year, got them all a bird.
Good for you.
And they just loved it. So yeah. And if you need anything, just reach out because all these hunters will help you. They might not give you their best spot, but they'll get you close.
They'll point you in the right direction, give you some encouragement to take that step, like you're saying, and get out there. Well, good for you taking 3 or 4 hunters out there. It
was a blast.
Awesome.
It was cool seeing some guys get their first bird.
That's really
except
cool.
for my buddy that I yelled hen and. I'll just stop there.
Is he still talking to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I yelled hen, and there goes the boom.
Well, last time of the season, I was out there with 3 other guys, and a plethora of hens, which I thought were hens, got up, and it was pretty windy, and I'm yelling hen. And the 2 guys in the middle were trusting me. The guy on the far side, again, my buddy Matt, he knew what they were, and they're all sharptail.
Oh, okay.
He's like, shoot! And I'm like, hen! No. So no one shot, and probably 15, 20 sharptail got up. And we tried to chase them for a little bit further because we saw where they went down. But
it looks so similar. A little shorter tail.
Yeah. Unless, like, on my September sharptail hunt last year, I knew I was targeting sharptail. I was looking for them, so I knew.
Right.
I knew if something got up, it was going to be a sharptail.
Right.
But I think I'm still at that point. If I was in a mixed kind of terrain, it'd be kind of tough for me to pull the trigger.
Yeah, you kind of got to go into it with the mindset that, okay, look at this lighter colored bird real close.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that undercarriage butt almost. You got to see a little bit of white.
Yeah, exactly.
And just more experience, I think, will help people.
Well, and the angle and where the sun's at, that all plays a huge role.
So many things. So Clayton, thank you so much for jumping on this. It's been a ton of fun. First podcast in the garage, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah, awesome. I was glad to make it, and I appreciate you having me, Will.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
We'll
look forward. I'm sure we'll get out there, train a little bit, and work some dogs this summer, and it'll be a blast, and maybe get out in the fields this year. So,
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always down to do that.
Yeah.
So.
How can people follow along with your dogs and your story?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, Rogue House. It's ROGUE.HAUS. It's really just a place I go to post some cool pictures and to try to share my story, my family story a little bit. But
nice.
Yeah, reach out to me and let me know if you need anything.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You take care and have a great season.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, Will.
Yeah. Right, that is a wrap of episode 11. Clayton, thank you so much for that conversation. I really enjoyed it. Also, we got to get out and train. Come on, brother, let's go. I can't wait for your kennel to start, Rogue House. I know you got a new puppy coming very soon, a male this time. So you have some beautiful looking dogs, great photography, great page you keep up with, and so really, really enjoyed our time together. Hey guys, don't forget, share this episode with a friend, share it with a mom, dad, brother, sister, coworker, cousin, aunt, uncle, I don't care. If you think they would find value from this and enjoy the podcast, share it with them on social media, send them the show link, whatever it might be. Hey, also leave an Apple Podcast review. I do read every single review. There's not a way to respond to those, but I read those. I enjoy just what you're putting into those. Good and bad. It just helps me grow, helps the podcast get better. So I really appreciate that. Last thing, just don't forget about the Dakota 283 giveaway. It's closing the end of July 30th to be exact. So get those Upland stories written, how you got started, why you got started, and what keeps you going. Write those in. You'll be entered in the giveaway, an extra 5 entries. Or post a video on Instagram. Make sure to tag the Upland Rookie Podcast and use the Upland Rookie Podcast hashtag. Can't wait for some of these stories to start rolling in. I think I've gotten one so far. Maybe not. Anyways, guys, until next week, if you're not lucky enough to hunt with or own a Brittany, don't worry. Any bird dog is better than no bird dog. Go put some miles on those boots and have fun in the uplands. All right, get after it. See you next week.